Hi, and welcome to the Now Testament, where we seek to experience the Almighty in our time through living by His heavenly principles in present day. Our topic today, question, is the devil growing our children? I have a question for parents who are seeking to have a family that is rooted in the kingdom of heaven, parents who are seeking to implement the principles of the Almighty in their home and family life, parents who want to have children who are grown in the way of the Creator. Today we are discussing the societal school system. My question is, who is growing, who is training, and who is guiding your children? My question is it the devil, the prince of the air? This may sound harsh a notion, but let us look into it deeply and truthfully. Today we are discussing the societal school system, the educational system embedded in the way of the world. From Scripture, we know the way of the world is not the way of the Creator, but the way of the devil. 1 John chapter 5 verses 19 says, "We know that we are of God, and the whole world lies under the sway, under the power of the wicked one." The wicked one, the devil himself. So parents, who really is growing? Who is training our children when we send them off to school? Who is training our children when they spend the most of their waking hours in the hands of people of the world, influences of the world, education determined by the world? If we are to be plainly honest, our children are spending most of their time in the devil's camp, learning from them instead of us. What do we expect the outcome to be? To some parents, this means so much importance is placed on going to school that we have blinded ourselves as to what we are actually doing. We are sending our children to be taught, trained up in, be guided by the way of the world. As said before, the whole world lies under the sway of the wicked one. Let me remind you, in Proverbs 22 verse 6, it says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." As parents who are seeking to walk the way of the Most High, the training of our children is our responsibility. Placing them in a godly environment is our responsibility. Look, we cannot expect the world's education system to train up our children in the way of the Most High, nor for our principles to govern their worldly ways. The world is doing what they do, and it is working for them, but you cannot expect that to work for us when we are to be set aside, a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, according to Deuteronomy 14 verse 2. The first part of Romans 12 verse 2 states, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This clearly declares not to conform, follow, obey, or adapt to the way of the world, but to become newly transformed in the way of the Most High. When we are no longer following the way of the world, we can perform the second part of the verse, which states, "So that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good and acceptable and perfect." Therefore, we cannot expect the world to create a training environment conducive to the way of the Most High. It is written, time and time again, that the way of the world is contrary to the way of the Most High. That alone proves the point. No matter how nice it looks, no matter how inviting and prosperous it looks to the eye, it cannot be the way of the Creator. Remember, the devil is crafty. What may look good may just be the thing that lures us away to damnation. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 4 says, "In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God." Let us not be unbelievers. Let us not be blind. Training our children is totally up to us. It is time to stop complaining about what the school system is doing to our children, what they are taking out or putting in, or the rules that are changing when the Most High has made that our duty. There are many options open to us so that we do not conform to this world. We can homeschool, we can group school where families join and educate together, or even create our own educational system. If we truly believe and apply the word of the Almighty today, it will push us to find a way. Obedience to His word is always the best way. Let me say this clearly. We are not against schools. Institutions of learning are great tools to educate. What we are advocating for is institutions shaped in biblical culture for our children, so that if we have to educate them outside of the home, when our children are out of our presence, they are with people of like mind and like ways, the ways of the Most High, where pleasing the Most High is most important. As a fact, right now, we have our own Priscilla's Preparatory School and Kids Company, founded by Bithia Gedalea, someone who noted this very problem. When it seemed it was time to send her own daughter, Priscilla, to school, she aimed at creating an environment conducive to godly principles. To emphasize, the Bible encourages us to train up our children in the way continuously. Deuteronomy 6 verse 6 to 7 says, "These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up." To give us more visuals, I ask you, how can we train our children? When they spend most of their waking hours, maybe with persons not of the same faith, in a place under a different order, how do we train them? When we sit and pray with them and then send them off to be influenced by the world, how do we train them? When compared to the world, our time with our children is short, maybe when we are so exhausted and unable to give our full attention. What are we promoting? When we push them to reach the world's school early and on time, but if they are too tired for family devotion, we let them sleep in. What are we promoting? When we push them to stay up late to do the world's homework, but don't push them to know the word of the Most High in depth, what are we promoting? When at the dinner table we ask how was school, but not have discussions about how, as a family, we are obeying the way of the Most High. The Bible principles are exact. The way we train them is the way they will grow up, and the way they will not depart from. So, who is training your children? Is it the world? Is it the devil? Or is it you? To make my statement clear, if you are of the Most High and seeking to do His will, there is no way, if you have children, you send them out into the world to be under the influence of the devil and expect them to grow up in the ways of the Creator of heaven and earth, the Most High. I leave you with this. Our actions prove our belief. Meditate on today's message and comment your thoughts. Remember, applying the principles of the Most High in our lives directly is how we receive the benefits of His kingdom here on earth. Application is key. It is not enough to just know it. James 1 verse 22 say, "But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves." Thank for watching the Now Testament. Live and be blessed.
Monkey. Monkey. Little,
That's orange.
Pea party, 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 pea party, queen, 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 rebel, rebel, spider, 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 topper, 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 Tell me where, tell me where, as Summerful, 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 why yo, why yo.
What's in that face, Bubba?